Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 88 MPH community call. My name is Whipper. I'm a crypto enthusiast and an 88 MPH community volunteer. We have an exciting call lined up for you today, and it's our pleasure to host Bridge Mutual as well as Cometh. A couple of reminders before we get started. Please keep your mics muted unless you're speaking. Please save your questions for our Q&A section towards the end of the call. And a quick reminder that we'll be closing off the call with a raffle giveaway to one lucky listener. So please stay tuned to the end. We are going to get started with some quick introductions, followed by a deep dive and then some project updates from the different projects joined with us today. So with that being said, I'm going to pass this over to Magic Michael. If you could please give us a brief introduction into Bridge Mutual, and we'll start there. Thank you.
Hey guys, pleasure to meet you all. My name is Michael. I'm CPO in Bridge. And the Bridge is a fully decentralized coverage protocol when everyone can cover every single crypto protocol. We are trying to stay chain agnostic. However, right now we are deploying on everything that is EVM compatible. And we are excited to be a part of 88 MPH partnership. We will provide coverages to 88 MPH, of course, and we also want to use 88 MPH as a yield aggregator and yield generator for our capital pool.
Awesome. Jerome, are you with Cometh?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I do. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks, Jerome. Sorry about the time confusion there. We weren't sure if you were going to join us a little bit later, but we appreciate you hopping in. Jerome, why don't I pass it off to you if you can just give us a little introduction of Cometh for our listeners here. Thank you.
Sure. Well, again, thanks for having me, and sorry for the eventual background noise that I may have. I was about to go to my place, and I had a message saying like, "Hey, you need to hop on." It's right now, not in 30 minutes. So sorry for the background noise. About Comet, it's a project that is gamifying DeFi. So Comet is a video game where you get exposed to decentralized finance primitives. And we are live on Polygon since about 4 months, having lots of fun there. We run a DEX, we run integrations of many different protocols. We have yield generating NFTs that you can play with. And I hope that this call will convince lots of people in your community to join us. And I'm looking forward to also having a deeper integration with what you guys are doing.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And just for the listeners coming in from Bridge Mutual as well as Cometh, McFly, if you just want to give like a quick 1-minute introduction into 88 MPH so that they can get an idea of what our project has to offer.
Yep, sure. So 88 MPH is basically a Ethereum protocol allowing everyone to earn fixed interest rates on their crypto and stable coins. We are supporting USDC, DAI, some rapid version of ETH and Bitcoin. And basically we are trying to be a bank on chain where we are like trying to ensure that we can offer fixed interest rates between 7 days and 1 year maturity. And we are cooking our V3 right now that will simplify a lot what we can currently offer on the 88 MPH V2. So stay tuned for all of that. We will talk about that in a few minutes about the progress with our V3 at the end of the call. So yeah, stay with us.
Awesome. I'm going to bring this back to Bridge Mutual. Magic Mike, if you can, we'd love to get like a really highly deep dive understanding of the project, as well as some project updates for the listeners here. If you could just, give us some updates as to what's happening. If you can give us like a deep dive, highly overview, would be fantastic.
I think Lucas is a better person to run it since he's like leading our marketing, PR, and growth efforts. And I will just cover technicalities. I'm not sure if like the listeners are super interested in the mathematics behind, which I'm like the head of. Lucas, can you please take over?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Lucas. I'm the COO and growth lead here at Bridge. And to give like a general overview of what the platform is, so as Michael said, Bridge Mutual is a decentralized coverage platform that allows users to either buy coverage for their crypto endeavors, crypto assets, be it deposited at centralized exchanges within DeFi protocols or just as stablecoin holdings. And on the other hand, provide coverage, provide liquidity for those coverages and gain yield in exchange for that. So update-wise, we've been in development for quite some time right now. Over the course of the development, new challenges and new ideas were coming up, but we're extremely excited to announce, and as we had already, that we are launching the V1 of our platform in June, in roughly a month right now. And simultaneously to that big launch of our platform, we'll be doing the liquidity mining event. And this is where our partnership with 88, just announced yesterday, comes in. During the liquidity mining event, we kickstart the entire process of getting liquidity for the coverages by engaging around 30 of our partner protocols. 88 is one of those. And what that will mean is that users, both users and projects, will be providing liquidity for the respectable pools for every project, and will be rewarded with BMI rewards for that, as well as the interest paid by the policyholders, of course. So this is a big thing for us, major event, big launch happening in around a month or so, which will be also coordinate. This will be a marketing endeavor synced with all those partners. So we're hoping for roughly 30 communities engaging in this entire project, as well as leveraging some PR activities to that. Currently, we have deployed our testnet on Ethereum just last Friday. And along that, we've published the white paper version 1 for Bridge Mutual, which covers the technicalities and math Michael mentioned earlier. So we're actually at this very final point before launch, which is happening very soon. We're partnering with some very exciting projects. We're very happy to partner with 88. And as Michael said, the other part of this agreement is that upon gathering funds in the capital pool, Bridge Mutual will essentially invest a portion of its funds into yield generating protocols, and part of it will be we plan to dedicate to 88.
Awesome. That's amazing. I'm going to switch gears here and pass it over to Jerome. We'd love to hear from you if you can give us a deep dive and overview. And, just it's such an interesting project, Cometh, that we'd love to get like the motivation behind, how it started and what the thought process was. Looking forward.
Yeah, so the initial thought process was how do you teach blockchain? How do you bring people into blockchain? So back when I was working at Consensus, we had this trouble of bringing new engineers to start working on blockchain, start to get them interested into that. There's so many things to grasp. There's so many things to digest before you can really get into this. It wasn't an easy task. And when it comes to bringing new users, like not engineers, just your average Joe that wants to have a good time, play around with finance, play around with the gaming aspect about blockchain, it's not easy because you have to, go through all of this hassle of installing a wallet, getting into this, understanding that, getting the gas problem, and so on. So the overall thought process of Comet was like, what if we were able to design a game that would expose that, simplify the onboarding, and get people hooked on quite quickly? So that's what we started from. And then we started to sprinkle good things that we had at the blockchain space by the time, which was the DEXs, the yield farming aspect of it, the NFTs, and trying to create a game mechanics that works fine with it. And then we realized that, oh my God, people are just paying tons and tons of dollars paying for fees. So we needed to have a layer 2 solution ready. And Comet really bursted when we realized that all of the elements that we needed to have to make this thing work were actually available. And so Comet is right now a game where you control an NFT. This NFT is a spaceship. So the game's assets are represented by NFTs, which is like sort of an innovation, but still lots of different games are doing that. All the game mechanics are based on blockchain, so you could play with just playing around with the contract, of course, but the interface is cool. It's a pixel art style thing. And in the game, you interact with other players. Like you have to pay other players to move your spaceships, and other players have to pay you to move their spaceships towards you. So there is this little aspect of crypto economics about that new players grasp and discover quite quickly. And you move your spaceships in order to get close to different asteroids, hence the name Cometh. And when you get close enough to an asteroid, you are mining this asteroid. You are taking away the tokens that are located in this asteroid. So we designed this game thinking that people will just rent an NFT, because we have a rental service. If you don't have an NFT, or if you don't want to purchase one, you can just rent them from someone else. You control an NFT, you move around in space. Eventually, you get close enough to an asteroid, you mine some tokens, you realize that those tokens have value. So what are you going to do with it? Maybe you're going to give it to 28 MPH and earn some yield about it. Maybe you're going to put it as a liquidity on a DEX. Maybe you are going to withdraw liquidity from a DEX because you've actually been given out the liquidity of a DEX. So we put the tokens in the wallets of the new users, and we let them discover what they can do with it. So we are kind of like throwing people into the liquidity pool, because right now on the Comets, you can mine LP tokens. We run a DEX on top of Comet, and the fees of the DEX are actually being sent back to the game. And also, whenever we sell an NFT, so you can stake some Must, and the Must is the token of Comet. You can stake some tokens and earn NFTs. You can also purchase the NFT, and the proceeds of the NFT sales are used to create new LPs and distribute these new LPs in the game. And as time goes, we are going to more and more integrate new projects. We've been doing partnerships with Alchemix, with Badger, with Pickle. I hope soon with you folks, and just trying to expose those new protocols to newcomers, and trying to have an onboarding that is easy and fair to begin with. So whenever you go to one of the Comet websites, so you can try our DEX called swap.comet.io. You can try our rental service, rental.comet.io. You can try our game, games.comet.io. You get the opportunity to log in with Wallet Connect or MetaMask as usual, but you also get the opportunity to log in with your email. And there is a third party called Magic Link, formerly known as Fortmatic, that handle your wallet. If you don't have any tokens on your wallet, if you don't have any Matic on your wallet, you can purchase some with Ramp Network. We don't take any fees on this. As far as I know, it's the cheapest way to get crypto on a public key right now. And you just start over, like try it out, rent the spaceships, discover what you can do with it, earn some tokens, play around with it, and hopefully want to get in touch with the rest of the community. And as far as I know, and we've been doing a couple of interviews with some of our players, and the feedback is that some of them were just playing around with crypto for like 3 months. They discovered the game, they wanted to get in, and they got in touch with a nice and vibrant community, and they become degens in a couple of weeks, and now are enjoying themselves playing this game and holding NFTs, owning tokens, and learning more about decentralized finance. So yeah, that's what we are doing, trying to gamify DeFi and make it accessible through the gaming aspect of it, and now trying to aggregate as many yield generating or yield aggregating protocols that we can, so we expose them all to our player base.
I absolutely love it. It's nice to see a project take a completely different spin in this space. It's great. Thank you for that. I'm going to pass it off to McFly here for a bit. Was there anything that you sort of wanted to get into with regards to 88 MPH before we can just open up a little bit of a discussion here very loosely about, different integrations with 88 MPH, Bridge Mutual, and Cometh?
Probably I would love to open the discussion with Bridge Mutual and after with Cometh regarding the way they think to use 88 MPH in their strategy, like their growth strategy of like the different use case they can imagine being able to be powered by 88 MPH. I'm really curious about that. I obviously we already discussed that together, guys. But for our audience right now, it would be awesome to have like some of your opinions and sharing
Sure.
it with everyone.
Sure. So in order to like fully understand why we are going to do it, we need to go a little bit lower level and describe how the protocol works from like more technical perspective. So in general, we are accepting users' funds that are willing to take someone's risk and insure these people against these risks. Yeah, like every single insurances, we want to be capital efficient. So basically, capital efficiency is the equivalent of leveraging this capital. Therefore, we are reselling tail risk from not really risky protocols, for example, Aave, and reinvest those probably never gonna be used funds towards different protocols in order to increase its capital efficiency. Yeah. So that was the first iteration, how to make the DAI users deposits in Bridge Mutual really effective. However, we can do it because like how legal DeFi works, we can just have a proof of funds, yeah? And this real hard DAI, we can reinvest someplace else and make even more money for our users out of it, like making risk farming or investing in risk even more profitable for our users. Therefore, we are looking for many yield aggregators partners where we can allocate this hard DAI and basically make even more money out of it, yeah? What is really essential, we need to manage risk in really well and efficient way. Therefore, 88 MPH is really good good market to use since you have different risk protocols. Yeah. Why we can't provide all of our capital towards 88 MPH? Simply we can't because of the risk diversification. Ideally, we want to have. It's super hard to talk numbers right now. From the top of my head, we want to have at least 10 protocols that we will allocate capital and basically will rebalance based on the risk profiles of the capitals we invest in and on the capital pools we have against this protocol. So basically, the investment will be covered on Bridge Mutual, so we can invest more, etc., etc. Yeah. So in general, you are just like a perfect fit for us, and yeah, that's it. Does it make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely making sense. I'm curious about your opinion, Jerome, regarding that, like different use cases you can imagine leveraging some yield protocol or like 88 MPH to offer like added value to players.
Sure. So our positioning is trying to be an aggregator that people will want to use and we want to use to discover new things. So there is two ways of saying that. So when we do stuff with other protocols, usually those protocols have a token. And so the first value proposition that we bring is that the token that is listed on Comet Swap or that is exposed to Comet users is accessible on layer 2. So even if the product itself is not live on layer 2, people can access this token for a very cheap price. And I think that's been quite a revolution recently, since we are now living in a time where you barely get to do a transaction with less than 20 gigaway. It makes new tokens and new promising projects not really accessible to small purses. So having those tokens listed on layer 2 allows for different people to get access to your token. So if someone wants to buy one 88 MPH with a price that is now like $50 or something, like the price of a swap on Uniswap is probably going to eat much of this. So having those tokens listed on layer 2 is probably the first value proposition to extend the reach of your potential user base. And when it comes to the Cometh users themselves, today we have a user base of about 4,000 unique players, and those players are constantly trying to enjoy the game, getting new tokens. So if they get a curve deposit token or a curve vault token or an Aave deposit token or a stable coin or even a coin that any coin that your protocol supports, the way we integrate with other projects is letting people know that they just added in their wallet something that they can put at stake, they can put at work, they can transfer this token to another protocol that will make it grow. And for us, it's a great opportunity to nudge the users to not have tokens sleeping on their address, but also to get educated on what type of protocol or what type of usage of the token makes the most sense for their own risk profile or for their own expectation in reward, for example. Um, so on that side of the value proposition, we are more like an educational and nudging protocol, saying like, hey, this is what's available right now. Why don't you do that? Did you consider this? Take your own decision, do your own research, but we give you a gamified interface to do that and eventually find the thing that suits you best.
I think what you guys are doing is a huge part of what's going to bring adoption to the blockchain space, to the DeFi space. I mean, so L2s is the first part, is making things affordable, but then the gamification, something I spoke to the Polygon guys about in particular, is one thing that they really want to push because they think it will educate people about blockchain. It will get people interested about using these products. And I think honestly, I think Cometh is such an awesome project, and I'm very excited to see a DeLorean-shaped spaceship floating around.
I mean, put yourself in the average Joe's shoes. You create a wallet for him. He can log in with his email, and then you drop in his wallet a tiny portion of an LP from MPH to ETH. So now he has an LP token. Well, he knows in his wallet that it's worth $2 or $3 or $10, whatever the portion you gave him. Well, he is really tempted to understand what it is. And we try to leverage greed. We try to leverage the envy to get richer, or to understand why this thing is damn valued at $2. Like, what is this? And we try to leverage that to make people want to understand more and want to get in this more, because as far as we have noticed so far, this is the best way to get people really interested into that. But well, thank you for the kind words, and hopefully we'll get things right. But the path to go there is still full of ambush, and we still have a lot of things to do to really make. Yeah, we still have a lot of things to do to really bring the new people in. But that's what we are trying to do, and we are lucky in this space that many different projects are trying to do the same. And hopefully one of us, or maybe several of us, will get this right, and we will all enjoy a new type of financial systems where also other meaningful projects are bringing great value to that.
I think we're early enough in the space where it's not a zero-sum game, where there's so much room for growth for the space in general that your competitors, your gaming competitors, aren't actually competitors. They're just other people the more people that do well, the better it is for the whole space. So I think that the next couple of years is going to be really great for everyone, but I think for gaming in blockchain in particular.
Yeah, and this discussion brings us to this topic of how to kind of scale the current user base, the current community you can have. And I'm curious about your plans. Michael, you were saying before you are having an approach, like a multi-chain approach, like every chain EVM compatible, you will be on. Is it something like on day one, you will be deploying on every possible chain EVM compatible?
So as you can imagine, like deploying everything in one day is close to impossible. However, we are building and structuring everything so we can basically deploy, test, see how it works, optimize, deploy to the next chain. Yeah, so we want to make this process really robust. we likely gonna have some operations from the day one on Polygon, but please don't tag me on Twitter if we don't, because we are still working on some bridging problems, some exchange of informations. Yeah. So I cannot like be specific in which parts of the ecosystem will be on Polygon, which not. Another place we want to like aim our guns is BSC for sure. Basically just to first of all target the market where the most of the hacks happening right now, and second of all like target these different demographics, which is like from $100 to $1,000 asset under management per user. From the day one, definitely Ethereum. Ethereum is still the big money place to be. Which worst case scenario we will deploy only on Ethereum and stay there, but best case scenario, like I said, in a few months we will be on those three chains. In the long term, I really want to be on Solana. However, we haven't done anything towards this direction, basically because there is no market yet for it. However, I'm just a fan of Solana personally, and I think it might be a good place to be soon.
Well, if you guys have any trouble going live on Polygon, do let us know. The Comet team is super eager to help and also to support your arrival on this on this chain in any meaningful way.
Awesome, great. I have some technical questions in this regard, so yeah, we can have a follow-up call maybe.
We'd love to. Let's do it.
Perfect, thank you.
Very much obliged.
That's cool. And I'm kind of like in the spirit, like thinking like is more a thought when like you have this experience of building things, hoping that people will come, that will notice you. Like basically the strategy, if we build it, they will come, they will use it. But it's not really how it works in the reality. I wanted your opinion regarding the way to acquire a user there. Like, what's your plans with? And
so
of course,
basically,
opinion there after.
Yeah, so I fully agree. Like, as we have seen, not every time the best technology wins. We have seen it on Tron for a while, why they were so high. We have seen it on XRP, still don't understand it. Yeah, and some great technologies that didn't achieve adoption. Yeah, so it's either a bit of luck always, but in general you can always time it to the market. Yeah, so the most important is to create a product that is perfectly priced and targeted the market that is actually in it right now, and incentivize users to use this product and become this product curators. Yeah. So what we are trying to achieve, we are trying to right now, like there's obvious need for insurance protocols. There's hack after hack. This is not questionable. So what we want to do, we want to target protocols that have significant TVL and make them our partners not only in business and in coverage by just basically giving them opportunity to insure themselves, but also to be part of DAO and build it together with us. Yeah. So how we structured our incentivization layer and our early stage growth is basically we'll drop a shitload of tokens on our partners so they feel so well rewarded, and basically they will have so much tokens that will have to participate in DAO in order to build it with us. So they feel like building something together and increasing their token allocation as well. Yeah, we are fully towards full decentralization. We want as many communities to be involved as possible. So basically, if let's say we have what Lucas has mentioned, we have these 30 projects. Hopefully, all of them are going to have a few million of tokens, and they're going to participate actively in DAO and build this product together with us. Yeah. So we are sure that the product is really well, and the best way to push it to people is just basically give the control to people, which is like the ethos of decentralization. Does it make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely making sense. I'm
Just wanted, if I may add, because I'm actually have something just to add to what just Michał said, is that to answer your question, like from our point of view, the solution here or the go-to strategy here is to make the product compatible and easy to join with other protocols to create those easy to go to synergies. So because our platform will allow users to gain yield not from lending money, or which is like the primarily in one way or another primarily way to farm in most DeFi protocols, but by assessing risk and gain yield from premiums earned on that. So we want to create this new matrix where gaining money from being one man or one project insurance company would be a part of the landscape. And also what we see and what we feel will be coming now in DeFi Summer 2.0 will be the move of whales and institutional investors further down the rabbit hole, so further into the DeFi, as right now they're buying Bitcoin, buying Ether, but not going fully into DeFi just yet. We want users, institutional or professional DeFi traders to feel much more comfortable with using any sort of projects, actually, any sort of DeFi project. So assuming that you have APY of 10 or 15 or 20% on a given project, like that, depending on the risk there, paying a premium of say 3%, that depends on the utilization ratio on Bridge Mutual platform, and subtracting that from total API, but feeling safe that regardless of whatever might happen, you'll still earning the yield, is something we want to be a part of. So the way we see it is we want to take and grab hands with as many projects that fit our strategy as possible, and then move this move this landscape together. So this was the strategy from the beginning, and as a matter of fact, it also has this very nice vibe connected to it, community for the community, through decentralization. Also, because we have no KYC on the platform, this creates this true spirit of crypto within the project. So this is from our perspective, this is the way to just connect and then push compatible synergistic products together.
Yeah, definitely the way we see things also in terms of creating an ecosystem, being part of the ecosystem and creating one around you, and basically creating a network of different smaller like ecosystem. I suppose it's the best way to grow, especially when you don't have millions of dollars of VC funds. And yeah, the organic way is also like a healthy way of doing things for the long-term health of the project. Because yeah, you can do a ton, spend a ton on marketing, paid channel. Growing your community quickly is really easy if you have like if you want to spend the money, but creating partnership, long-lasting partnership where there is like added value created for everyone is really the best way, but take a lot of time to build. But obviously, like with perseverance and patience, you can do a lot of things. So is what we are doing with you guys is what we'll continue to do. It's really just really cool, and really happy to hear that from you.
So adding to this, in regards to community building, we are trying to build valuable community, people who understand what they are doing, what they are voting for. One of the model I admire is Balancer model, where Balancer Lab basically like gave a lot of tokens towards, right, from Aave, from Compound, from Uniswap, yeah, and they collectively build something together, the best, brightest mind in the industry. We are trying to do the same. We are trying also to give it to the best, brightest mind in the industry and build it together. Our objection is to 70% of the token or the total token supply end up in an emission in many different ways. So community funds, grants, emission, liquidity mining rewards. Yeah, so we want to be really like spread all over the DeFi ecosystem.
Yep. I'm curious about you, Jerome, your thoughts about that.
Well, it's probably the most difficult topic in this space right now. Um, I want to pick up on what you said, like especially if you don't have millions in VC money to spend. I'm candidly asking the question, like, what are those millions of VC monies if not invested into degen project like the ones we are seeing in Ethereum right now? And they are probably really missing out. It's, I mean, it's the decentralized part of it, saying like you give your users and you give your community a sense of decision and a sense of responsibility on what your product should become is probably the best way to reward your community about the time and dedication and trust and faith that they put in your project. For us, as a gamification of DeFi protocol, we have the game aspect of it that's super hard to balance. It's a multiplayer game. Like you play the game, there are items, there are perks. It's impossible for us to find right away the right recipe on what would be the great balance for this spaceship, for this item, for this spaceship against this item, and so on. So as I've been an RTS player in a previous life, doing lots of Warcraft 3, Warcraft 2 things, and I would have loved to have the community involved way closer to say, I want to vote that this thing needs to change, or I want this thing buffed, I want this thing nerfed. So I'm really happy that we can have this decentralized autonomous organization approach to do exactly that. Now, when it comes to growing your community, that's super painful. I mean, to be honest, like you guys are in the yield aggregations, the coverage thing is it's also the same thing. Like you need to have liquidity, you need to bring people to commit funds on protecting, on giving sufficient depth for meaningful trades or meaningful coverage to happen or meaningful yield to happen. And that's extremely difficult to do if you're not incentivizing them, because the loyalty of liquidity is super hard to get. It's super hard to commit, and this is how the network effect is actually accrued apparently at the moment. So it's still a very difficult problem to solve, I think. And the way we are trying to do that at Comet, and I don't know if we have the right approach, but we are trying to build committed players that enjoy the game, that enjoy the community they hang out with, because competing on the big capital is going to be tough. I'm saying big capital, like a Uniswap with his power is super huge. Like SushiSwap as well. Like those big players in our ecosystem moving, they are doing things also. So I think from our perspective at Comet, we are kind of like looking at what Binance is doing, looking at what they are doing, how they approach the thing, and try to humbly replicate exactly the opposites. And that's probably the guiding line that we try to achieve. Like we start by something that is super open. We try to aggregate protocols on top of it instead of having, and eventually at some point become a place where people want to go to exchange tokens as easily as they would have if they were a centralized exchange in the first place. And yeah, so I don't have a definitive answer. Just speaking my mind up, and yeah.
So if I understand correctly, we won't see Cometh on Binance sidechain, right?
Well, I'm not sure. Maybe we'll see.
Yeah.
From a pure game perspective, like I've been using lots of different bridges to bridge my assets from one chain to another, or one protocol to the other, and I thought the experience was not that good. So there are ways for us to expose this kind of experience of crossing chains for the game. That's super fun. I'm not hating anyone using Binance Chain in the first place or getting into crypto with this, but I kind of fear the centralized aspect of Binance and the effect Binance can have as a too big to fail protocol from a blockchain perspective. So, like, yeah, probably Cometh will be at some point on Binance Chain. Why not? but in terms of strategy for us to grow, I think we like what Binance did with the Binance chain, but it's not that decentralized. It's not that accessible. It's not that transparent. It's not that many things, and we don't want to fall into this trap of trying to find too much of an easy way to do things instead of trying to tackle a hard problem and eventually, hopefully, getting the high rewards on tackling those hard problems.
Yep, that's definitely a big topic. How to grow a community, how to build it from the ground.
Yeah,
we-
maybe just to add a word of encouragement here for everyone. Buying fake, fake traffic or paid users in the traditional technology sector is a short-term strategy that's super effective, perhaps during the bull runs. But the retention of the right demographic is king. This is what wins in the long run. And this is more connected to the product itself and how the community and how the users feel about the value of the product. So as long as the market fit is all right and the product delivers value and has a future in front of it, and this is something for us, the team, to show to the community, then in the long run this will win. So artificial money being pumped in channels, I mean, of course, it has its value short term, and it's sometimes difficult to compete against it, but it's oftentimes an empty force. Happens dozens and dozens of times in the, or now you say it's traditional Silicon Valley sector, but it's happens repeatedly. Really, you can spend millions of dollars on ads, but then it's just if there isn't a reason for people to stay, they won't.
Yeah, it's especially a good reminder for everyone here, especially for like non-marketing guys. Retention is really the good metric to follow in a sense that it's really easy. Like you can spend a lot of money doing just one-shot acquisition and having like kind of mercenary users. They are just here for like taking their money, and like there is no bad thing with that. But what you want at the end when you're building a project, and especially like 88MPH, is having a recurring users that deposit again and again, and they are still with you 5 years after, and just not like going and leaving the project 1 month after they join. And it's like costing a lot of money to acquire users, but after, if you can retain them, is really a good investment.
Absolutely, yes.
So the dog coins on Binance Smart Chain do not apply, I assume.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. They do have a pretty loyal following. I don't know how long the loyalty lasts, but like it is impressive. You know, I think what McFly said about retention of high quality holders and high quality communities is probably the only thing that dog coins have got. I think that's what is carrying them to the top is the high quality community that they've made for themselves.
Who, Dogecoin?
Yeah, just in general, all the dog coins in general. Like I think they have no utility really, pumponomics, but it's entirely community driven, right? That's the only thing that's giving them any kind of drive. So I think it's, if anything, it's a testament to what McFly just said. It's a backup for what he said. The community is, you know.
I disagree. I think Dogecoin was pumped pure tweets of that after that and Instagrammers and TikTokers. Without that, Dogecoin would be nowhere. I think so, and I think the quality community. Okay, sorry if you want to answer or something.
No, I'm listening.
So by good community, I think the community that can build something and can develop something. Dogecoin has nothing to be built on. What can you build on it? Yeah. So good community is a community who engages, who optimize, who do something productive, and basically build Yeah, execute. So basically, good communities build new products. Good communities optimize new products. Do research, develop. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, by good community.
Sure,
I will add.
You go.
I I'll add to that what you can do with Bitcoin is participate to the Ethereum ICO, and
Yes,
now you can
exactly.
wrap and now you can wrap your Bitcoin on Ethereum and put it on the decentralized finance. So
Yeah.
here you go. Yeah.
Same with
You
Doge,
know,
yeah. You can wrap
that's
the plan and
exactly
invest it somewhere, yeah.
that's exactly what I was going to say. You know, is you're talking from your perspective where you have a very complex and very deep project, right? There's lots of things you can do, lots of ways that your community can contribute. And I was going to talk about the dog coin, but what Jerome just said about Bitcoin is essentially the same point, right? Whereby there's very few things you can do with them, and there's very few ways that the community can contribute. But by contributing in terms of just sheer shilling, that's kind of their strength, isn't it? Is the simplicity of it all. Is leaves people with no other choice to contribute apart from telling their friends, which I guess is what you need for a shitcoin with no function.
Yeah, but to be fair though about Bitcoin, I mean there is a lot of development happening behind the scenes. I don't think we can put Bitcoin and Dogecoin in the same category. I think that's
Sorry, I don't actually hate Bitcoin, Whipper. I'm sorry. I will lay off.
it's okay, John.
No,
You and I have to have a
actually,
conversation.
if you are developing anything on Dogecoin and doing a pull request, your pull request will probably be accepted. If you are doing anything on Bitcoin, your pull request will actually be discussed for years in the background and maybe be accepted one day after a big conference in Miami, for example. So let's hold on.
I mean, maybe
Doge,
looking
the Doge developers are very hardworking.
from the project developer's perspective, in order to be agnostic here, we owe some things to Dogecoin. We owe them the scale of adoption. We owe them the media. We owe them the press. We owe them the market movements. Of course, there are big downsides to that because they're bringing volatility and uneducated users and paper hands and stupid retail and all of that, things that creates waves, market waves so big that they disturb the work of all of us. However, they spread the news. So there are also advantages of having projects like that. If you approach it from like the purely guerrilla, maybe not guerrilla, but like aggressive marketing style, I think it is our role to acknowledge some positives here. So
Absolutely. It is in some ways guerrilla marketing, but absolutely, I've worked closely in PR, and it's for the past 2-3 weeks. It's the only narrative the majority of mainstream media outlets are interested in is the Doge narrative or the anything powered by Elon Musk, which happens to be Doge. So it is true. Without those, without these kind of catalysts, cryptocurrencies will always remain a kind of scary fringe thing to a lot of people. But a dog coin,
maybe
me.
not always, but definitely it might accelerate some things. But
Yes.
then
Yes, you're right.
the key question is that what projects and who would take those users and educate them and show them the way further down the utility and value of the projects that are actually trying to achieve something. So the danger here is that because of the craziness and the highs of shitcoin pumps, users will get discouraged because they might lose everything. They might do 10x, but then it might plummet down and they might never recover. And it might be, you might have a PTSD from crypto till the end of your life. But it's a macro trend. I think none of us here is building or participating in a shitcoin project. We need to have those in the back of our heads.
Reply.
Oh, sorry. I just.
We also have the Einstein coin, which
You know,
is a play at the macro. I don't know if you've seen it. It's you can trade one MPH for a couple billion of a breakdown. It's called Einstein, the dog from who Back to the Future. You can break one MPH down into a couple billion Ein. Just to jump on the macro trend. Wi-Fi did it, yeah. A few others, yeah.
Wi-Fi did it, but I don't know. I'm a person that hates lack of utility. yeah, I'm person who designs utility. So if I see no utility, I'm disgraced. Yeah.
Like Lucas said, though, I liked what you were saying about Doge, though, Lucas. I have had people come to me who they are familiar with cryptocurrency purely because of Dogecoin and because of all the TikTok pumping, the marketing, whatever you want to call it. A lot more people have become more aware of Ethereum and Bitcoin and Chainlink and all these innovations in the space that I really do believe are changing and will continue to change the world. And there's people that will have no idea about that if it wasn't for some of these meme coin, tactics. So I do think that there is a silver lining to them being in the space. And I like that you said something like that, Lucas.
Guys, if it's okay with you, sorry, I don't mean to cut anyone off. I wondered if anyone from the audience had any questions, if we can open that up. We did have a incident earlier in the call, so we are going to try to be selective.
Let me read a couple of the ones out loud before we let some of the audience in.
Go ahead.
I will turn on the request so people can request, but I will be looking for. Oh, that was a bot. That was immediate. I'm gonna dismiss that. I have turned it on so people can request. I will go through profiles. If you have a question, please direct message it to me. If you don't want to join on, you can also message in the general chat of 88MPH on Telegram or Discord. I will be going through both.
Guys, apologies. I have to jump for another call. It was a pleasure to talk to you. Pleasure to meet you. Sorry. Have a nice day.
Nice. Thank you. Nice to meet you, mate. Bye-bye.
Thanks for being on here, Michael.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Magic Mike.
I got a message from Sirens. I am going to
He's
let
not a
him
bot.
on. He is not. I misspoke. I'm going to let Sirens on here, and we're going to see if you have a question for the team. Or for either team.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Hey, Sirens.
Huh? What did you say?
I said,
Said
hey,
hi.
Sirens, welcome.
Not much, nothing. I just found the Discord thing. So what is this all about? Can you explain?
Discord or the conversation that we're having right now?
No, the conversation you're having.
Are you aware of what 88MPH is?
Hold up.
Okay. Next one.
All right.
That individual. All right, I'm gonna read.
It seems like people are really bored these days. I guess people get kicks out of stupid things.
We'll trust them. We'll trust them. I'm sure. Convolvulus Michael, your name is from Rick and Morty. Do you want to come and chat? I think we've invited you. You can accept the invitation if you like.
Oh boy, here he goes kidding again.
I think Convolvulus Michael is not around. What about Dogeball? We spoke about Doge. Let's invite Dogeball in to defend Doge if he likes.
Hey, what's up? Thank you. I had a question about McFly mentioned the last meeting that he met with someone and it kind of changed his perspective on marketing and how he was going to approach that. I was just wondering if maybe I didn't hear correctly, and if I did hear correctly, have you guys thought about marketing in a different way recently, and what are your any insight on kind of what actions you're taking on that?
Yeah, good question, and you were hearing it well. It's definitely a serious topic for us since we launched last November. So there was two schools in our community: people who like meme-driven project. Basically, 88MPH is just based on a war meme, and other who kind of dislike and they think it's not really fitting in the market we are trying to capture. So the way we will do things for V3, it's basically growing up a bit and having at least the UI that will look more like something like a mix between Sushi and Coinbase. So it's like a first approach to kind of make everything look a bit more serious in a way. We are kind of not sure, and it's probably an iterative process to find the right way of communicating stuff on Twitter. Like, do we continue to be like meme driven or not? And it's probably something we'll measure according to the reach we can get on different social media channel and the way we can grow the protocol revenue and the TVL. So it's probably going, yeah, a step-by-step process, but we want to grow up a bit. The V2 was kind of a teenage period of 88MPH, and we were like having a lot of fun doing that. We will try another approach with something that is closer to what you can see on Aave, Compound, and others who are like, I'm sure they have fun building what they're doing, but a bit more serious about yeah, the way it looks and the way we communicate on things.
Hey folks, I'm deeply sorry, but I will have to hang up as well. So I just wanted to take this small window opportunity to thank you all for your question, your kindness, and having us features in your community call.
Thanks, Jerome. For your information, we record the call, so I will share with you the recording after.
I'm staying on your Discord, so if you have any questions about Cometh or anything I can answer, don't hesitate to add me, and I'll respond to that later. Thanks, folks.
Awesome.
Thank you. All right, Dodgeball. Was that
yeah, Dodgeball, I hope it answering your question.
Yeah, it did. Thank you.
Cool.
A quick question.
Yeah, go for it, Crumbobbers.
I really resonated with the part of the conversation about how blockchain games can be a good onboarding mechanism for people who are new to crypto. And I was curious if 88MPH has a relationship with Yield Guild, who, as I understand it, is kind of like the engine for lending and borrowing NFTs in games. I'm just saying, as a user, like I would much rather like borrow a spaceship to test the game out or something if I know it's like $5 a week or $5 a month than I would, to borrow at like a variable rate. I think that maybe that's a good relationship if you guys aren't already in touch.
That's a really interesting idea. Something that hopefully unfortunately, he just left, which is sad. That would have been good for him to hear that also.
Yeah, we were discussing that with Cometh last week. If I understand well your question, we were discussing a way to leverage 88MPH in NFT object, in-game object that can be represented by NFT or whatever else that work in their game universe. It's definitely something we could do, and it's like still the technical details need to be worked on by Cometh, because like currently they are just on Polygon. So or you like kinda ensure that you can use your asset from Polygon into another chain, or like just building closed environment. Not sure is the best approach for like this kind of game, online game. If you're like closing and siloing your ecosystem for each chain, is not really a great user experience. But like, yeah, there is this kind of technical details to work on, and the good news with 88MPH v3 is like, I see it as a good news at least, is everyone will be able to attach metadata to the deposit. So like NFT represent each deposit into 88MPH. So you deposit, let's say, 1,000 DAI in 88MPH, we'll be able to attach whatever metadata you want. So it could be a metadata about spaceships. But we didn't thought much about it right now, like specifically for in-game assets. Like it was more like a general approach related to arts represented by NFT, like just having something that you can see, look nice, it's fancy NFT, and at the same time it's earning interest. That's something that could be nice to have, and we wanted to have it for V3, but after that we need to work more on specific needs like Cometh, for example, or other in-game assets like on Axie Infinity or whatever on-chain game there is out there.
Yeah, if you want to look into Yield Guild, I don't like owning Yield Guild. I don't think they even have a token, but as I understand it, they're kind of like the primitive a lot of games are building on top of, so that their in-game assets can be lended and borrowed amongst the players. And if Yield Guild was to build on top of MPH and turn some of those rates into fixed rates, like I think that would be a good sort of like amplification or a good opportunity to expand your reach as a primitive and have other people build on top of you.
Yeah, definitely something we will take a look on, and it's like always like funny up like ecosystem where you can have fun, where like there is a playful environment, and where you can like plug in some financial way of doing things. That's really something that is personally like an ecosystem where I want to dig deeper, and there is a shit ton of things to do there.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. It looks like we had a.
Should we continue with the questions? There's a few others that want to speak.
Yeah, it looks like Jumanpog won. Sorry if I said that wrong. He's been a long-term MPH community member. I'd like to hear what he has to say. You an invite. And while we're waiting for him to join on, I had a question from another community member asking about if we will ever be moving to Polygon. And I know that's not specifically what's happening, but if Zephram, if you would like to answer that, it's all yours.
Hello, guys.
Hello?
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can now.
Cool. So yeah, we actually have been talking with the Polygon team about deploying. So like we're definitely open to deploying on multiple chains, Polygon, Phantom, and perhaps others. So all of that will happen after like B3 launches on mainnet, of course. Mainnet will still be our focus. Yeah. And we really want to kind of build up this kind of multi-chain ecosystem similar to what Sushi has been doing, where we deploy instances on other chains that kind of feed their the fees that those instances earn back onto Ethereum mainnet and back to the MPH stakers. So that is kind of our current vision for looking at this.
Thank you.
Does that answer your question?
I'm sure that does, yes. And Jimin, thanks for joining up on the call. Did you want to ask your question?
Hello. Yes. Thank you, Steven. My question was, what will be the most difficult challenges of MPH v3 when deploying in a new layer 2 or in a new network? Is it more like liquidity related on the coding side, or like more like on the security side?
Right. So first of all, because ADMPH builds on other floating rate interest protocols, Aave, Compound, etc., we can only kind of deploy on chains where they are already deployed, where there exists some way of earning floating rate yield so that we can build on top of it and offer fixed rate yield. And the other, like in terms of like the development process, like definitely like first of all you have to be EVM compatible, Solidity compatible. That's like the minimum requirement. But also because our front end makes extensive use of the graph, we need like in order for us to deploy on a chain and still offer a good user experience, we need the graph to have like a node for that particular chain. So right now, like they have instances for Polygon, for Phantom, and I think I'm not sure about BSC. Like I don't think the support for BSC is like very good on the graph side. But yeah, like those are kind of the considerations.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, guys, I think in the interest of time, if there aren't any other questions, maybe we should work our way towards the raffle.
Yep, sounds good for me.
Let's do it.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So, what's going to happen right now is we're going to ask everyone who's listening. Don't do it just yet, but just hear me out. McFly is going to pick a number between 1 and 50, basically, and
188.
Yeah, and then yeah, of course, 1 in 88, and the closest person to that number will obviously win. So when I say go ahead, just feel free to drop that number in the general chat, and the person who's closest will win the prize.
And McFly, for transparency, if you want to put on the comms group or something the number, just so we can clarify with people that we are being completely impartial.
Publishing it right now on the Telegram.
No, there's no, just so there's no accusation of switching if we have proof that you've put the number in the comms group. Awesome.
Yep, done, guys.
I just saw someone spamming the raising hand. Do you want to speak whilst we wait for people to write their numbers? If you're there, you were just
maybe
spamming the raising hand function.
It looks like.
No, I think it's that Rikio guy, but I could be wrong.
I'm actually gonna remove Rikio.
Oh, you are. I've just invited him to speak. Hello, Rikio.
I thought it was spam.
Hello.
Hi, how's it going?
I just had a question. What is this server necessarily about? Because I saw the like live stages thing, and I was like, that's new. So I clicked on this.
So the live stage is where we're having a community call where we're talking about the future of ATMPH alongside some other projects we're involved in. Are you a follower of ATMPH, or have you just come across this server yourself?
I just came across it.
Okay, well, feel free to listen and stay around. We do this every week, so you're welcome to kind of listen in and try and get educated on the blockchain space and what we're doing in DeFi.
Welcome to crypto.
That's sick.
This is the beginning of the rabbit hole.
This is the beginning of the rabbit hole. This is how it begins.
Well, my brother's go.
And
well, you're in a good place.
Meanwhile, guys, while we wait everyone to participate on the raffle, some updates related to 88 MPH v3, our progress. So we got last week, we were discussing the security side of the next release. Maybe Zephram, you can update us related to the C4 bounty and the progress with the findings.
Oh, right. So for the C4 findings, most of the findings were like for really small issues. Some of them were like some pretty good ones, but most of them were not that vital. Although on the security side, like I've also been just going over the smart contract, a few more times and writing more tests. And yeah, even though we had this C4 bounty and the peg shield audit, I was still able to find one pretty big issue. I will not bore you with the details, but it's really big. So that kind of made me queasy about the current security situation of the V3 code base. So I am planning to just really focus more on having more testing and using some of the more advanced security tools such as Echidna and Manticore. So yeah, Guillaume, is there anything else you wanted me to add?
No, I think it's a good overview. So yeah, there was this thing happening, regarding the way we review codes, and as everything maybe probably already know, making audits, paying everyone to review your code is not enough. So it's really an internal way of doing things that is already, and it's already done, but it's important to invest on that too. So code review, peer reviewing, and unit testing is what we are currently doing this week, and probably also next week. We will have some help also with that. We are asking other guys to take a look at the code, like we were doing with the C4 bounty. There was can you remind me how much findings there was in the C4 bounty, Zephram?
There were a total of 20 findings, although quite a few of them were not real findings.
Mm. So yeah, there was some new pair of eyes taking a look at the code base. So it's always nice to have that, especially when for people who are not aware of that, when you are paying a company like PegShield, basically you are paying one main auditors auditing your code, and after you have a senior auditor taking a look at the findings and validating the reports. But it's a human process, so they can't find everything. It's not perfect, so you need to have different point of view on your code, and also investing a lot into unit testing and other security tool that was mentioned by Zephram. So that's the focus right now for at least Zephram. Zephram is handling everything related to Solidity developments right now, so it's concentrating, focusing on that. From my side, I was as I said last week, finishing up with the UI. So it's 95% done in terms of the way it looks, at least. Tomorrow we have a meeting with other guys in the team to kind of distribute the task related to the components we need to build. Components is a piece of code that need to be plugged with the subgraph. So the subgraph is done also. That's a good thing for the V3. It was a big chunk of work. And after that, we are probably good to release. So we were discussing with Zephram. We won't announce any specific day, but I will share sneak peek of how it look. I will share that later today or tomorrow in my morning on Twitter to see, just to display to everyone the current progress with that, the visual progress of things, because there is a lot of things going under the hood. And probably the main net release will come early June. So it's close. We are close, and we are really happy with what we have. And what we want is making sure that everything works as expected. So we are investing more on test and stuff like that before, releasing all of that.
Awesome. Do we have a winner for our raffle?
I think so.
We do. Oh, Did you want to announce it?
No, go ahead, go ahead.
I do. Caribou said 19 and the number was 21. So he was this individual was the closest, and they will earn $100 worth of MPH.
Awesome. So Nainin, just forward me your wallet address in a direct message, and I will airdrop all of that in a few minutes.
That's awesome. Okay, guys. This was a fantastic call. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We really appreciate it. We hope you enjoyed as much as we did. I will officially close the call, but feel free to stick around if anyone wants to chat. And that's pretty much it. Congratulations to our lucky winner, and we will see you on the next call.
Thanks, Whipper.
Yep.
See you later, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you,
take care,
everyone.
guys. Have a good one.
On behalf of Bridge Mutual, thank you, and we would love to hear your feedback on our recent things. So we invite you to our channels, Twitter and Telegram, and tell us what you think about the white paper.
And don't hesitate to share whatever link toward your social white paper or website in the general channel, Lucas. Like, don't hesitate and ask me anything if you want, or like me to share some stuff after. Don't hesitate.
Absolutely, and we will likely publish the recording of this call as well.
Cool. Awesome.
Thank you very much, and
Thanks,
cheers,
guys.
everyone.
Have a good one. Bye.